Okay. Okay, so this is, I think, the final section of the self-discovery book. Afterword. Why is philosophy needed for self-discovery? The purpose of this book is to philosophize about self-discovery. What is self-discovery in the first place, and what kind of quest is it? The meaning of the question has been clarified in this book. If you don't know what you are looking for, and if your destination is not clear, the more you walk, the further away you get from your true self. Most people have confused thoughts about themselves and the world. The greatest utility of philosophy is to make our thinking clear. In philosophy, organizing questions is just as emphasized as finding answers. If it becomes clear what you are trying to know, the job of philosophy is halfway done. I said halfway because understanding the meaning of the question is only the starting point of exploration. Philosophy is not an answer, it is the love of knowledge and the act of inquiring. While this book may be modest in its content, I do not hesitate to say that it is not something that was created by the author's efforts alone. I express deep gratitude to my mentor. The time has come to lay down the pen. I do it to illustrate philosophy. You do it to begin philosophy. August 2008, in anticipation of a day when the light of knowledge will bring happiness to everyone. The author, which was Kentaro Ito, the author. Okay, very good. So, what did we learn from this book? I think the beginning of the book was talking about how biologically, so humans, like all other creatures, their purpose is just to procreate and have offsprings, pass down the genes. And because this is like a primordial instinct, evolutionary, it has been like ingrained in us for millions of years. So in this way, it's not something that we can steer away from so easily because it's like a biological programming. And to walk the spiritual path and the path of self-discovery is first and foremost to be aware of the strength of our biological mechanisms so that we don't fall uh, in, we don't see it as a trap. We don't find ourselves in a trap because we will be driven by those strong passions, blind passions. And if our wisdom is not there, then we will find ourselves in traps or situations that brings us pain, and then the suffering of regret. Why did I do this? I wish I hadn't done that. And because nobody can change the past, that kind of regret creates a living hell. So people who know the value of self-discovery, they begin to see these kind of dichotomies, that there is something deep within us that Buddha calls them blind passions, that it's very difficult to control. But then at the same time, many times we know it's going to be detrimental to our happiness. And then it's, you find split between your passions and your wisdom. Yeah, so the more we see this divide, the great divide, and try to close the gap by walking the higher road of benefiting myself by benefiting other people, as opposed to falling into the strong pull of our blind passions that make us just act blindly just because it's pleasurable. because life is very hard. The first noble truth states life is suffering. So unconsciously, we're constantly seeking either pleasure or we're just seeking happiness. And even if it's a happiness that is short lived, sometimes we judge that for a real happiness, and then we fall into that trap again. So the more we listen to the Dharma, the more we become aware of the intensity of these blind passions that trouble and torment us. And then we can find that middle way by benefiting myself through benefiting other people. So that's the best antidote we receive from the Buddha. So instead of just being concerned with my own desires, which result in very temporary pleasures, temporary happiness, that means when it's gone, it's suffering. Instead of that, the antidote is to be concerned about the happiness and well being of people around us too. What can I do for them to get motivated to walk this higher road of benefiting one and all together, listening to the Dharma together? The more we plant seeds in this direction, the less we're gonna suffer from our blind passions, and we get fulfillment of having impact on the world, and also peace of mind that we are moving closer to our authentic self and the happiness that never abandons us. So nothing gets wasted. With every step, with every day we live, we get closer to that happiness that is genuine, that makes us shout, I am so glad to be alive. Unconditional source of joyfulness. And we can look back at life and have gratitude for all the things that happened that brought us to that joy of being alive. Yeah, no more regrets, and that means no suffering. So good job, everyone, for being here, practicing together. Today is Wednesday, so we're going to have our Karma Lab at 5 p.m. Pacific, and have a wonderful hump day, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everyone.